Hedera Hashgraph HBAR is exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going to be addressing some of the concerns that we're seeing in the comment section and more broadly across social media in regards to Hedera Hashgraph HBAR. And really what I'm going to be addressing, I think, is the unnecessary nature of these concerns. And that's exactly what we're going to be diving into in this video. Now, this is going to be one of a two-part video. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the price of Hedera Hashgraph, where it's currently at, where it's going. We're going to be looking at it from a purely technical point of view in this video. So we're going to be looking at the Hashgraph chart. We're going to be reintroducing what I like to teach in my Patreon, and we'll be opening up to the public more broadly. And that is phase analysis, which is a derivative of Wyckoff's market cycles and, of course, Charles Dow's market theory. It also is, if you look at the Wall Street cheat sheet, for example, that just really maps out the emotions that are attached with market cycles. And we like to focus on market cycles. And when we focus on market cycles and we take that zoomed out approach or view on Hedera Hashgraph and the HBAR chart, it's a pretty beautiful picture that is being painted. So this is absolutely going to be a predominantly technical update. We're going to be looking at a number of charts. We'll be looking at prior altcoins in prior cycles in regards to being in a similar phase to where Hedera currently is today and what comes after that. We'll be looking more broadly at things. We're also going to be talking about how really, if you look at the cyclical nature of crypto cycles that centers around the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, due to institutional involvement, i.e. buying, are ahead of schedule. And actually, at this point, cyclically in a crypto cycle, altcoins are exactly where they should be. So we're going to do a lot of things in this video to really address some of those concerns. I don't want anybody being concerned. Ultimately, when it comes to investing in the cryptocurrency market, you are investing in the most risky, volatile market that there is, period. And there's great risk, but great reward that comes with that. And you need to have understood that before you even entered into this market. You are going to have to stomach volatility, price fluctuations, which is why we focus, certainly on the short term, on the bigger picture. And if you've been accumulating cryptocurrencies like I have since the start of 2023, remember we got out for the majority of 2022, you actually sat in a quite, I think, optimal position. But we'll talk about all that. Hedera Hashgraph, from a fundamental point of view, is probably one of the most exciting distributed ledgers I have ever came across. In fact, my portfolio reflects that. It is probably one of the biggest bets I've ever taken in regards to the cryptocurrency market, because fundamentally, it is impressive. It's not a blockchain like your traditional Ethereums, Bitcoins, and things like this. It's a DAG, which does things slightly differently, but is a decentralized ledger in the exact same manner. Ultimately, this gives it unique benefits without really that much trade-off. So if you look at Hedera Hashgraph from a scalability point of view, it is one of the most scalable distributed ledgers that there is in the entire space. It's also, depending on what reports you look at, one of the most, if not the most economically friendly, i.e. the amount of energy that it takes to run the network is minuscule. They even buy, I think, carbon credits to offset it. It's also probably, in my opinion, got the most today real-world integration. Just using Avery Dennison, which is a Fortune 500 company. They're literally putting thousands of transactions on Hedera Hashgraph every single day. That's just one of many of the kind of use cases Hedera sees in the real world. If you look at it from who actually sort of maintains the ledger, it's the largest institutions in the world that run nodes, whether that be Google, IBM, Mondelez, which is the people behind Toblerone, Cadbury's, and all these kind of things. You name it, Dell, Hedera Hashgraph, has it going on. So fundamentally, this is an extremely bullish project. And certainly when we take a zoomed out approach from a technical point of view and don't focus on the sort of more short-term volatility that you're seeing, and I'm talking about this chop here, I really truly believe that Hedera Hashgraph is in the optimal position. Certainly, if you've got cash on the sidelines. I have been accumulating crypto since January the 5th, which is when I sort of announced to my patrons we were getting back into the market after this downside. So we've been accumulating throughout this period here. I know not everybody's in the same boat. I know some people bought up here, perhaps on the BlackRock news or something like this. However, a good thing to take forward or lesson to learn from that is don't FOMO into things. Don't buy things when they're going vertically up. Nobody's ever advocated for that, I don't believe, even on YouTube. You want to be more sort of position strategic with your positioning into the market. And that's certainly what we've done in regards to Hedera Hashgraph and many other altcoins out there. Some altcoins we have are still hundreds of percent up. Certainly before Bitcoin had this pullback, we had some altcoins 600% up. And Hedera did very well for us for a time period, but of course has given a lot of those gains back. But this is still, I believe, a beautiful spot, an accumulative spot that we're currently seeing take place for Hedera. And we'll certainly look at what's to come. But one thing that we like to teach, of course, is phase analysis. We'll throw the schematic up on the screen. Phase analysis essentially breaks the market down into 4 phases. You've got your phase 1, which is your accumulation phase, your phase 2, which is your uptrend, your phase 3, which is your top, and your phase 4, which is your downtrend. Now, if you look at Wyckoff's market cycles, everyone is familiar with Wyckoff's accumulation distribution schematic, which, by the way, the accumulation schematic Wyckoff put forward looks very similar to what Hedera Hashgraph is doing today, and we'll throw that on the screen also. But if you look at Wyckoff's cycles, it's very much in 4 parts, just like our phase analysis is. And then, of course, you've got Charles Dow's theory, which is very much a similar thing. And we think, ultimately, HBAR is in this period of accumulation that ultimately is going to lead into that phase 2, which is going to be a significant upside. To go back to the Hedera Hashgraph chart, it very much looks extremely similar to Ethereum back in 2020, Cardano back in 2020, gold back in the sort of 2018, 2019 period. Of course, this is Coinbase before it went on that run that we were predicting, MicroStrategy, and then we're going to talk about BLX and where the cryptocurrency market is cyclically and why actually Hedera is in a great position. So also talking about market cycles, the Wall Street cheat sheet I'm sure many of you are familiar with. This is essentially got a basic cycle schematic with emotions pinpointed on to the chart. And if you look at where we are today, we have speculated this is likely to be the kind of disbelief phase for Hedera. And I do truly believe that is the case. So when we look at Hedera, we really think this is a phase 1. If we look at something like Ethereum was very much in a phase 1 in regards to chopping in and around that 30 weekly moving average, kind of basing, much the same manner that Hedera is doing that today. And of course, we all know what took place with Ethereum after you had got through this kind of period of consolidation, accumulation. It really set us up for the bull market that we believe is still ahead of us. We think actually this bull market is going to be substantially larger than the prior. If we just speed this up a little bit by sort of exiting it, you can see this is the period in which we were looking at Ethereum. We were down here, and then you have this kind of upside to come. If you look at Cardano, very, very similar story. This is it in the prior bear market. And then, of course, you can see the kind of run that Cardano went on. Cardano did 100x for me. I think Hedera, 100x from its current price today is not what we're predicting, by the way. We'll be happy with $2. Very happy with that. But 100x is a $5 Hedera price. Is that out of the realms of possibility? Who knows what the future holds? That's not our prediction. But you can see Cardano very much here was in a similar spot to Hedera. And, of course, we saw what that led to. Something like gold, okay, a little bit more long-winded in regards to the accumulation that took place. But we can see where gold is today. So this is your accumulation. This is what eventually happened for gold. We think Hedera is on a similar journey once it's done with this period of consolidation. Coinbase was a good recent stock for us that we're accumulating in the $30, $40 range. It's made multiple targets for us, and you can see after its period of accumulation, you saw upside, which I very much think is on the cards for Hedera Hashgraph. Another one that we did rather well in regards to predicting was, of course, MicroStrategy. You can see accumulation, phase 1 into phase 2. And when we look at where Hedera Hashgraph is today, ladies and gentlemen, it's very much setting up for similar upside, which aligns with our macro view on the markets and generally how we believe markets are positioned. So if we dive back to the HBAR chart, I do believe this is very much your basing range, your accumulation, your phase 1, whatever you want to call it, where smart money is accumulating. And yes, I believe you guys are on the side of smart money. Retail largely isn't involved in the cryptocurrency space right now. In fact, we played a very interesting clip to bring us on to our next topic of Eric Balanchunas, who was talking about where he believes Bitcoin price would be without the ETFs, given where we kind of are cyclically. And if you look at where we typically are around a halving, which we've just had, it's nowhere near new all-time highs. The pariah here is that we went and put in a new high, all based on institutions, why Sol and ETH have done as well as they have, largely for the altcoin market. It's exactly where it needs to be. This is Ethereum in prior cycles. You can see it's still in its period of accumulation. And we showed you the Ethereum chart. You know, Ethereum was just here, very much where I believe HBAR is. We're going to see a similar outcome. So when you look at things from a sort of zoomed out technical rationale point of view, you don't just sort of panic because the price is throwing a bit of a wobbler, which, by the way, is exactly what happens in the cryptocurrency market. If you look at the average kind of pullbacks for altcoins, Hedera are very much still in that sort of scope of things. If you've been accumulating throughout this sort of basing period, I believe it's a very comfortable position to be in, certainly in regards to what we're expecting to take place. And this, like I said, is part one of a two-part video that we're going to do. We will be releasing a fundamental look at Hedera after this one. We just wanted to get some sort of price action charts out the way of, to perhaps maybe put people's minds at ease somewhat. However, do not take any of this as financial advice. Nothing I say I'll do on this channel is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You make your own decisions. That's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. I think when we look at Hedera from a zoomed out perspective, and my money is where my mouth is on this, it's quite a good picture that is being painted. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. If you've enjoyed this content, a like is always appreciated. So is a comment, and I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next.